All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful yet almost invisible forces that shapes our entire world, energy. It's the engine that's running literally everything, from the global economy all the way down to the device you're watching this on right now.
I mean, just think about it for a second. That simple flip of a light switch, the screen you're looking at, the car, the bus, the train that gets you where you need to go. Every single bit of it is powered by this massive, unbelievably complex global system. It's so deeply woven into our daily lives that most of the time we don't even notice it's there. So that brings us to the big question we're tackling in this explainer. What is actually powering all of this? And maybe more importantly, what's going to power our future? Well, the answer is a lot more complicated, and frankly, a lot more interesting than you might think.
Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the stakes, and they are huge. There's this fundamental principle at play here, a direct, undeniable link between energy and prosperity. If you look throughout history, the more energy a society gets its hands on, the higher its standard of living. It's that simple. And that connection is exactly why the choices we make about energy are so incredibly critical.
So, where do we start? Well, let's begin with the foundation, the old guard. The players that have completely dominated the game for more than 100 years. Let's talk about the conventional sources of energy.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. The big three: coal, oil, and natural gas. I mean, these are the titans that fueled the entire Industrial Revolution. They've been the powerful, reliable workhorses of the global economy ever since.
And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures their whole identity. They are incredibly energy-dense and have proven themselves to be super reliable for decades, building the world we recognize today. But, just like a powerful old muscle car, they come with some serious exhaust fumes. A major, major downside we're about to get into.
But of course, the story doesn't end there. Not even close. Now let's pivot to the new contenders who are jumping into the ring, sparking what many are calling the renewable revolution.
Now we're looking at a completely different team, a team that draws its power from forces that are constantly being refilled by nature itself, the incredible energy from the sun's rays, the raw power of the wind, the steady flow of water, and even the intense heat from deep within the earth. So to keep our analogy going, these are like brand new, revolutionary electric engines. They run clean, they harness amazing power, but they aren't perfect. They come with their own set of challenges, and the technology is still being fine-tuned and scaled up for the long, demanding road of global energy needs.
Okay, so we've got the established champion on one side and the revolutionary challenger on the other. Now let's put them head-to-head. Let's really see how they stack up against each other.
First up, availability. And right away, this is a fundamental game-changing difference. Conventional sources are finite. We're pulling them from a limited supply closet that one day will be empty. Renewables, on the other hand, they are, for all practical purposes, inexhaustible. The sun is going to keep shining, and the wind is going to keep blowing. Next, and this is the really big one, environmental impact. I mean, this is at the center of the entire energy debate today. Burning fossil fuels is a primary source of the greenhouse gas emissions that are warming our planet. Renewables, once they're built and running, generate power with little to absolutely no direct emissions. The contrast here couldn't be more stark.
Now this slide is great because it just lays all the cards on the table. You can see the core trade-off so clearly. On the conventional side, they're established, they're reliable, and they're energy dense, which just means you get a ton of power from a small amount of fuel. But the downsides are huge. They're polluting, they're finite, and they create geopolitical risk, where conflicts in one part of the world can spike your energy bill. On the renewable side, the merits are obvious, clean, endless, and they let countries be more energy independent. But their demerits are real too. They can be intermittent because the sun doesn't always shine and the wind doesn't always blow, and they can have really high upfront costs to build. As you can see, there's no silver bullet here.
So, with all that in mind, where do we possibly go from here? This isn't about just picking a winner and calling it a day. This is about consciously, deliberately designing the energy architecture for our collective future.
And the challenge in front of us is, well, it's like a massive three-part puzzle. First, we have to figure out how to balance the world's ever-growing demand for more energy to keep societies growing. Second, we have to manage the immense environmental impact of whatever choices we make. And third, we have to keep pushing and driving technological innovation to make all of our energy sources, especially renewables, more efficient, more reliable, and more affordable.
When you boil it all down, our energy future isn't written in stone. It's a blueprint that's being drawn right now,
by the decisions we're all making today. So the question this leaves us with is a big one. Looking at all the pieces on the board, at all the trade-offs and all the potential, what kind of architecture are we going to choose to build?